Okay, it's live now.
Just wait for a second.
Okay.
Okay, we are live now.
All right. So, hi everybody. This is my whole child team here today because it is Autism Awareness Day today. So, we are here for some time. We are live for some time, and we'll be answering your queries, questions, or concerns that you have as parents, educators, or therapists. So, I have with me here Ankit, who's our special educator, Danya, who's our occupational therapist, and Delphina, who's our physical therapist. So we are all here to answer your questions today. Also, we have some questions that had already come into us before, and we would like to take them first. So the first question is directed towards Danya. So the concern that this parent has is that my daughter is 3.5 years old, who is diagnosed with autism and is always on the go and struggles to stay at one place. This makes it difficult for her to focus on anything I say to her, or even sit and eat. Please guide me.
Right. Thanks, Jenny, for the question. Okay, so usually it is seen that when a child has difficulty in sitting at a place and is or usually on the go, preferring to run here and there or across the house or when he's outside. So it is seen that there could be a possibility of some kind of a sensory involvement as well. So when I say sensory processing involvement, that means that he may be struggling with some of his sensory systems. Specifically, if he's on the go, I would say it could be a possibility that the child is looking for movements or the child is looking more for body awareness. So as a parent, as a caregiver, what you can do with your child is to help him get the movements and the body awareness that he is looking for in a functional way, or in a way that he has his needs fulfilled and does not get into inappropriate ways that may sound a little indifferent to you. Right. So the ways you can do is engage your child in a lot of heavy work activities. So when I say heavy work activities, I would mean a lot of pushing, a lot of pulling. The question arises, it is COVID time. How do I take the kid outside? How do I engage the child in park time or in a playground? So, there are very simple ideas that you can do. I'm sure all of you must be having laundry baskets at home, but just cardboard boxes. Just try to fill in some grocery packets into it, right? Maybe, for example, a 5 kg flour packet, 1 kg, 2 kg rice packets, and just have your child push from one corner to another. It's like activating his core muscles. There's a lot of heavy work. He has to use a lot of muscles to push a particular object from one end to another end, right? The other way, what you can do, you can just take a rope or maybe just tie a little bed sheet or your dupatta into that basket and you ask your child to pull. It is just pulling towards himself. So you are kind of fulfilling your child's sensory needs in a more functional way, engaging him into activities that we are expecting that he fulfills his sensory needs from. Right? So more of pushing, more of pulling, you can engage in a lot of tug of war activities. So try and find out functional ways where he would enjoy, he would have certain functional benefits of it, as well as that would help him sit at the place. One thing that more you can add on is to enhance his body awareness is just make obstacle courses at home. So, more opportunities for the child to climb up, to jump, to step down, to crawl. So, just use some cushions in your home, some mattresses, some different heights of stools or chairs, and just line up in your room. And, maybe you're at the other end and you're just calling your child, come on, come to me. Maybe I have a toy for you. Come, take your toy. And the child is trying to step over that obstacle course and reach out to you. So this is something very common that we see in children with autism, that they have difficulty in sitting at a place. And that's why they're not very regulated to be able to focus. You will see when you having a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes of heavy work activity with your child, and after that, you tend to sit with him and do some kind of a fine motor activity, or maybe you're just sitting with him to finish his meal. You will definitely see that he seems more focused to you. He seems more calmer to you. and take a break in between. So every day, make sure you engage him in such kind of activities. And I'm sure like we have seen in a lot of kids, a lot of feedbacks to parents, that usually these kind of activities help your child because these focus on more of sensory regulation for child.
Right. Thanks, Tanya, for sharing that update and an input. I hope the parents find it useful. So the next question that I'll be taking up is from another parent who's talking about her son, who's a 4-year-old boy diagnosed with autism, and he finds it difficult to hold a conversation. He would only answer the question asked, would not communicate further. Please suggest. So I'm a language therapist, and I'll be taking up this question. So I'll be suggesting a fun game that you can do because your child is 4-year-old, and that's the time where a child develops a lot of skills when it comes to learning and language. So certain things that children enjoy at that age is stories, creating things together, or having becoming confident that they can perform. So something that you can do is called creating stories together. Now I understand when a child does not communicate and would only answer when you ask them, they have a lot of language content present, they have vocabulary, they have things that they can answer, but they find it difficult to express it, or sometimes they find it difficult to expand what they have. So they might have the basic concepts with them, that fruits, vegetables, and all the general things that needs to be learned. However, how to expand on a topic is something they find difficult. So something that you can do where we'll use stories that we create on our own, that will boost our confidence as a child, and also help us add content. So for example, you have a lot of toys at home, basic ones like balls, or maybe a teddy, or a car, anything that your child loves to play with, you can pick that up, and you can use it in a story. So for example, you have a ball. You start off as, I have a ball which is blue in color, I take it to the park to play with me every day. Then you move on and give the turn to your child, and ask them, what games will you play with your ball? Of course, it is a process where you have to teach them these things. You can open the screen, show them the things that you do with the ball, activities that you play with the ball, and help them list out the things that they would do. And then you add on to the next part of the story, that I would play catch and throw with the ball, I would play cricket with the ball, I would turn take with the ball. So then what happens, the child learns to add his own element while conversating. Then we move on again and say that, okay, I found my friend playing in the park with the red ball. So I thought that why not exchange my red with the blue? So here we are continuously adding different elements which the child is observing, that there was a friend involved, there were colors involved, there were games involved. So the child learns that how he can create his own content while narrating and talking. So this is something that you can try with different objects of daily living that you have at home. So the child learns how to, conversate about the things that are already present at home. And then slowly we move on to life outside, like, what you see in the park, create a story around the park, talk about the thing, list the things that you see in the park. Then we move on to activities that you would do in the park. So of course, we will be taking help from, the internet, where we, take out pictures, the real setting picture, so that the child can relate to it. And of course, because it's a visual cue, the child generally uses his visual memory for remembering and associating. So that generally helps the child to increase the content that they have, and it would definitely solve the problem where the child is unable to, have a conversation or a spontaneous talk, right? So moving on, I'll ask the next question. I think it is directed to the physical therapist. So my son is 4.5 years old, and he looks lazy and found always disinterested in gross playing. What should I do to encourage him and improve his sustainability into physical doings?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Jenny. Hello, everyone. I'm Delphina. So many parents are facing these kind of difficulties these days because they found their kids not doing any floor activity or not engaging into any physical activities, and they mostly gadgets freaks now, and having that screen time more, or watching TV or cartoons or anything. So many parents have these concerns these days more often. So I would like to suggest and some simple and easy, effective tips to you guys. So just make sure that your child will engage into some activities that is simple and more, funful. So make it little fun for them. Choose that activities that is more fun and more relevant to their age. And like this is a question for a kid like 4-year-old. So you will make sure that the activity should be like more funful. So we would like to say that if you are engaging your child into any activity, just make sure that you can make that activity into short level, or break into that in a small way, or you can make it in little the repetitions you can also make it in, like if you are counting like 10, you can make it into 5 repetitions. Or find out their motivation as well. If they are motivated enough to do the activity, they will love to do whatever you ask for. And I would like to suggest some of simple activities that you can make your child to engage into your home as well. These are some activities, like you can make him engage into some things, transfer from one place to another, like Dania also said that a bowl of pulses, or you can transfer them from one place to another, or you can engage them into some kitchen activities, or you can make him engage into some gardening is a very good activity that includes physical, sensory, plus much more fine motor skills they enhance. So you can engage him into some garden activities as well. Or you can make a simple routine for their themselves, that you can engage into some simple yoga activities as well. Like they can imitate a simple things like holding rolling your hands, or simple yoga activities with a mat. And you can engage your child with your family member also, so that he can watch your family members doing that and make motivated and do the same. So these are some simple activities I can suggest all of you guys, and make your child make sure that the activities you choose, that your child also like, and you can reinforce him or her by giving a toy they like, or something to a chocolate they like to eat. They can be a good reinforcement for a child to make the activities you want to do that. So that's it from my side.
Yeah, I would just like to add a little suggestion. When we are talking about also with the kids who are lazy and who would want, you want to engage them into functional activities. And also coming back to the first question that we had, that my child is always on the go and has difficulty to sit at a place. So adding tactile play is one very good way that you can have your child sit at a place. When I'm saying tactile play, it is more of playing with sand, more of playing with pulses or rice at home, or more of shaving foams. So exposing the child more to dry play, wet play, sticky play are things that a child would love, and it eventually adds on to the science of sensory regulation. So simple things what you can add on is just take a tray of rice, or add some pulses into it, and then maybe you can add some kidney beans into it, or some Lego pieces, and then just ask your child to separate it out, like just take out all the Lego pieces. Secondly, a very fun activity that my children enjoy a lot is boiling some noodles, and then just play around with colors with your child. So just take a red color, try if you have edible colors, that would be great. So then you don't have to be very cautious कि बच्चा मुंह में ले लेगा, right? So maybe just add a drop of red color, and we're going to tell our child, okay, let's mix and make all the noodles red in color. And your child is playing with it, totally engrossed in it, mashing it, mixing it all. Then you can just add a little more white and said, okay, the red and white makes pink. Now let's see how the noodles turn into pink, and just try and make it as interesting, as engaging, equally becoming a partner with your child and engaging your child in that activity. So I think this could be an add-on to Delphina's question and even to the first question that we just recently answered.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Delphina, for the input. I think it's pretty interesting, the activities. So moving on, the next question is for education. So the question is, my son is 5 years old. He knows the basic number concept, but I don't know how should I teach addition subtractions with numbers. Right. Over to you, Ankit.
Okay. So thanks for asking this question. So first of all, we need to understand that when we have to start the operations to our kids, right? The plus, minus. So first we have to check, is the child able to do the number concept? Because without number concept, we can't directly move on the operations, right? So first we have to check the child is able to count, the child is able to make grouping, sequencing, that thing. So after that, we can start the additions and the subtraction thing. But we generally do the paper pen task with the math skills, right? We write it on the sheet 2 plus 2 and just give it to the child and ask him to do the additions or different operations. But the math concept is more about the paper pen task. It's more about understanding and the application in the daily routine, right? So we can start with the concrete objects or items that child can easily explore the concept. For example, you can take some pens, some group of pens, and just give it to your child and ask them to count it totally. So you will know that the child will count it totally. So this is all about the addition concept, right? So you can see that I have used the pen. You can use the different types of object. You can use the Legos, or you can use the another toy that the child can explore very easily. So it's more about the things that you can apply in the daily routines, and the child can explore the concept very concretely. Then further you can include lots of multisensory activities. So the multisensory activities are basically which include lots of inputs toward the kid, the sensory inputs, right? So we can use, as the Danimam said, the tactile input over the sheet, over the mirror. So different things we have to use with the kid for the better understanding of the concept. So then the second thing we have to check that is the concept is applicable in the environment or not, right? So first of all, we have to focus it on the developing concept for the application of the environment. Then we can move to the paper pen things, right? So for the addition, if we talk about addition, I gave you the example. We can use two groups of items and just ask your child to count it totally. Same thing we can do with the different things, like you can give a group of pens or something else items. You can remove some things from the group and just ask your child find out the remaining one. That is the example for the subtraction. So these things we can try with our kids so that they can learn better and in a concrete way.
Right. Right. Thanks, Ankit, for the input.
Right.
Right, Jenny, there's just one question that popped in the inbox. I'll just share it. It's from Pooja Dwivedi. She is asking, my child is not communicate well and seeks for a lot of screen time. Can screen time impact his communication skills or his ability to talk? When we usually take away the phone from him or switch off the television, he would scream and cry a lot. Eventually, we have to give it back to him.
Right. Right. So, of course, it is true that screen time does impair your communication, because we have to keep in mind that screen time is basically one-way communication, where the screen is showing us something and we're watching quietly, where we don't have to give an input. So the basic exercise needed to have a conversation or a spontaneous talk gets impaired. So of course, children will throw a tantrum when you take away their television or the mobile phone, because they're used to it. So something that can be done to reduce the tantrums is basically if you limit the time and prepare your child So I would not suggest that, take away the screen time altogether from tomorrow itself, because that would affect your child, their, the temperament, because they'll realize the things are taken away from them without any information or, understanding. So something that you can do is, start telling them that from tomorrow we'll watch television from maybe 20 minutes, or maybe we'll watch, it depends on how long your child does watch TV. If they watch an hour or a whole day, slowly limiting the time that they watch. We'll not watch while we eat, we'll watch only when we're free. We'll get to watch when we finish our homework is something that we will start using. Basically pairing reinforcement, that, something positive is paired, that, without, we'll not say that we'll take away the television time if you don't finish your homework. We'll say that, you will get television time if you finish your homework. So usage of positive words while interacting with your child generally helps them understand that, the parent is there, they support them, they understand them. These are certain things you can try. Maybe watching television together as a family for some time and then switching it off together, because a child generally models. So nowadays we are all on our gadgets and our phones. So we need to keep in mind that our child will see and learn what we say and do. So these are certain things that you can actually try at home that would help reduce the temper tantrums around television and also reduce screen time.
Right. There's another parent who says, my child does not give eye contact. Could it be autism? So I would just go ahead and add my suggestion on it. So, well, this is very common these days. Whenever we have um, certain concern in our mind or something that we feel is not working for a child, we tend to go Google and just look signs for autism, or my child does not give eye contact, or he does not turn to my name being called. Could it be autism? And then the first thing that pops up could be get your child assessed for autism spectrum disorder, or kids with autism or kids with spectrum would show these red flags. So I think all of us would agree, all of us as a team would agree, if any time you feel that there is something going wrong, or you feel that something is not at place, or my child is a little different, there is something that is not matching up with his typical milestones or developmental milestones, please do not go into conclusions or have apprehensions about it. The purpose of this session actually, and the whole month of Autism Awareness Month, is that we make sure that we put a message out very clear. Any such thing, please consult your therapist, consult your pediatrician, consult professionals who know about this, and take your child to them and have a positive feedback, or have a feedback, get your child assessed, and then you get to know actually what is there. We have a lot of parents these days coming us because of the pandemic. They have not been out of their homes. They feel the child has not gotten enough stimulation, and there could be something that is restricting them, or maybe they did not perform very well with the child or did not give time. Then it adds up to their stress anxiety level, that I didn't do something that caused my child to have autism. So yes, having a poor eye contact or turning on a name could be one of those signs that children with autism present with. But please do not make conclusions. Consult a professional, consult your pediatrician, consult your therapist, and then even if if the doctors conclude that yes, there is autism, that is not the end of the world. Please understand there are many kids with autism, many adults with autism who are doing very great in their lives and who are very independent. So even if it is there, be on the right track, start early intervention, start the right guidance with the help of all the professionals that are available there. And I think that would be the correct step. Anything you want to add on, Jenny, to that?
Right. So, of course, keeping in mind that we do practice activities suggested to us regularly is something that we must do. Keeping a routine for your child is important. It doesn't matter if you're not doing something academic or something serious, but having a routine that this is time we eat, sleep, go to the park or play is important, including some exercises, play, and language here and there is important for your child. And of course, wherever you feel that there's a delay or a struggle, you can reach out to us or your doctors, whoever you feel comfortable for an opinion. And that is how we are going to move forward, because of course there are certain areas where we do need help. We as parents do realize that yes, this is something that is looking out for us, or this is something that is odd. So nothing to worry, just few suggestions, few changes here and there does help your child.
So I think with that, we will just close the session, and please feel free to message in the inbox if you have any comments or any questions, any concerns. Our team will surely get back to you and answer to those. Any guidance that you're looking for, all of us are available. So yes, and let's all together keep our strengths and keep ourselves at place on this Autism Awareness Day and on this Autism Awareness Month, and make sure that we do our best to serve the community in every possible way. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you all.